Last summer I spent 7 weeks in the Baltics, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia, photographing and doing interviews of something I think is really cool. Remembering 1989. In 1989, 2 million people held hands between the capitals of these three countries to protest the Soviet occupation. But they talked about it being electric, or one woman talked about, I went out with my 2 little children. I was 22 years old. My husband had let me. I didn't have any hope. In fact, to even have hope of hope at that time was impossible. The feeling was electric. So what did I do? Then I drove the 630 kilometers of this path, and I photographed along the way, trying to find things that showed change, that showed the change of what happened since the Soviet occupation has fallen, since they have regained their liberty, since they've become part of the European Union. All of these changes have been big and interesting. But each of these people told their story. They're beautiful people. I loved the time. It was great driving this trip. And I have city shots. I have landscapes. I mean, they filled up these landscapes that are just empty except for farms. And they held hands. They built bonfires. They celebrated into the night. This idea that they could be unified and they could bring change in a nonviolent way. Think about this. You live in a country of, say, 2 million people, and you bring down the Soviet Union, this massive country. Think about the pride you would have to have been able to accomplish this nonviolently, to be able to do this, to bring this big change without having to kill anybody, without having to arm and create more enemies. I would be really proud if I lived in a place that could do this kind of change without having to kill somebody. So what I'm wanting to do with the Kickstarter video is simply take a selection of the 4,000 plus images that I shot during the summer and selections from all the interviews, because I think that they're really interesting and fascinating. I'm still getting some of them transcribed. They occurred in 4 or 5 languages, and put this together into a book, a photo book. So that's the project, to raise money to be able to fund the book. And I'm hoping to do we'll do a smaller version that will be paperback, just a catalog of the exhibit as a benefit for those who can't contribute as much. But it's a fantastic story, inspiring story, a beautiful story. And the images are beautiful places and people who I've really come to love and respect.